Yo, what's going on, guys? C2 Wrestling back. SmackDown, as usual, giving us what we want. The main event, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline story. Snowden, before we get into it, we got to talk about the commitment. I'm in a suit. I'm fresh back from a party. I got the air conditioner rocking. The background, I'm not even home. This is
Not even
commitment.
home. This is commitment. Uh, I'm committed. I didn't do a whole lot today. I played a little bit of Madden. I went out, got something to eat, came back, played a little bit more Madden. Now I'm here doing this video. You had a busier day in a suit. Commitment. We are committed to this channel, C2 Wrestling. We've put out a lot of great videos so far. We're getting a little bit of love even on TikTok. Love to see it. We want to keep it up. We're going to keep it up. And that's what you're seeing here. This is commitment.
Oh yeah, I've got the tripod. I'm holding it, makeshifting right now. But let's get into what you clicked on the video for. Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns meet in the middle of the ring, and it is at the end Solo Sikoa who walks away with the Ulafala. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible with pronouncing things.
Yeah.
Honestly, Snowden, we know the biggest takeaway from this:
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fatu is by far the biggest takeaway from this. And man, we're on record in the last couple videos of ours probably saying, at least I know I am, Fatu, Roman, I don't want them to quite touch yet. I wanted them to kind of hold that off. And, I don't want to be going back on my word in a sense, but it's great. Them touching was not necessarily a bad thing. It was fantastic to see. It got me hyped up because I wasn't expecting to see it. It really did seem like they were holding off for a little while there. But speaking of committed, is also this angle. Fatu out there in a boot. Is this injury real? Is it not real? They're blurring these lines again from like reality to wrestling storylines, just like they were doing into Mania 40. Fatu is the highlight here, and I have a bit of things I want to say about it, but I want to hear your thoughts first. Fatu coming out of nowhere, attacking Roman. What were you thinking?
First of all, I didn't think Roman was going to get the Ulafala on yet. I
Mm-hmm.
thought he was going to get attacked right before, but pretty cool. We at least got the crowd reaction of Roman doing it, and then they quickly take it away. Kind of like a bait and switch. Teasing the full moment. And obviously, the biggest takeaway is Roman has no help. We know
Mm-hmm.
this is the story. We know it's going to be the story. Nobody should be coming out to Roman's defense right now. No one should. After the last 4 years, no one. Here's my biggest thing. I walked away from tonight more interested in Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. And that is my only, I don't want to say gripe because it would still play into the story. But when Solo versus Roman is the match, this has me cool. I'm all in on Roman Solo, but the money match to me, the strong guy versus the strong guy to me is now Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, deep down, I think that's the match everybody's been really wanting instead of Solo versus Roman. That though is still the money match to me, Solo versus Roman. And it is intriguing to really bring Fatu into it like this, where now you could almost have it where Solo won't face Roman. He's pushing it away. He's against it. They won't face. He keeps pitting Roman against the bloodline. Nobody there to help Roman. Maybe Solo won't take the match against Roman. Maybe we get Fatu versus Roman at the next pay per view. I don't think we get really any of them in Berlin. Maybe we get them at Bad Blood, but who knows? I mean, it's intriguing to really have Fatu be this new to the company. I don't want to say new to wrestling, new to the company, and be outshining Solo. He's obviously very well known outside of WWE for his wrestling on the independents, but we've said this before. WWE's got a much more casual audience than people realize, and Fatu is hook, line, and sinker. He's got them. I think everybody collectively wants Fatu versus Roman.
To Not that Fatu needs his tires pumped more than most people do it. to take a second to do so, you mentioned the commitment to the story, him in the walking boot, whether he is injured or not. Again, blur the lines. Maybe he is actually hurt. If he is, even better. You're showing up injured doing that. On top of it, we saw what he looked like right before he signed with the WWE. Not that he
Mm-hmm.
looked bad, but he shows up in tremendous shape, just very respectable to be know the opportunity you have and want to show up and look like $1 million. And WWE has taken him looking like $1 million and then also made him look like $1 million on television. So we can spend plenty of time pumping his tires. It does really feel he is now the strong suit. We know Jimmy will come back at some point. I assume we get a Hikuleo debut after a Jimmy return. My guess would be Jimmy comes back and helps Roman a little bit when it's 2-on-3, 2-on-4. Then maybe Hikuleo, Talatonga, whatever he may be called. Then he debuts to give them the numbers again. Again, I go back to my main worry though. The end goal, if the end goal is Solo versus Roman, it feels like we are leaning away from that a little bit.
Yeah, it does. And I don't, again, mind them pushing it out, maybe delaying it with this like Solo won't face Roman storyline. Maybe he gets Fatu before that and whatnot. And then there's War Games. There's a lot of ways to delay like a solo versus Roman match. But you even name drop Hikuleo there, who we haven't seen yet. We know he's signed. We can't even really 100% confirm he's going to be immediately brought into this Bloodline storyline. You would imagine so. I really thought they were going to ride out the Fatu's angled injury for a little bit. And it did cross my mind during the main event tonight as I was watching it that he could pop up. I really thought he might pop up more than Fatu would have. But I'm glad to see Fatu on screen. Injured or not, I want him on TV. I'm not gonna say I hated the like keeping him off TV to keep him away from Roman angle because I get it, but this guy's hot as could be right now. I want him all over our screens. I don't know if delaying the Solo Roman match does it justice though. As much as I love Fatu and want that, I think it is a detriment to this overall Solo versus Roman storyline.
Yeah, and to play devil's advocate to what I said before, Roman was booked very similar to how we are
Mm-hmm.
seeing Solo right now. Solo stepped up to Roman, said, I'll meet you one on one. Roman got the upper hand. And then Tongaloa steps in, or was it Tamatonga or Tongaloa? I don't even remember.
Tamatanga.
It was Tamatonga steps in. Jacob Fatu obviously comes in the end and helps him. That is like textbook of what we've seen with Roman for the last 4 years, where
Mm-hmm.
he has the numbers advantage, says he won't use the numbers. The other person starts getting the upper hand on him, and then his numbers help him. So, to be fair, I know I mentioned it feels like we are moving, like it's making me want to see Jacob versus Roman more. We used to see the same exact thing with Solo, where Solo was in Jacob's position. So, just needed to play devil's advocate for a second there. I'm not upset that they kept Jacob off for, a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever, sell the injury a little bit. Now I'm starting to think the timeline. And this is where, like they tell us, we have to be patient. Because a Jimmy return, we know it's coming. Hikuleo, Talatonga debut, we can assume it's coming, but neither of them are coming in the very near future. And I just hope the story doesn't get a little repetitive, like we know the Bloodline story can, but we know those moments are coming. I don't know how soon though.
Yeah, I think there's a marker you can put down though for it will happen by here. And to me, that is November because you're going to set up war games. One way or another, we're getting a new bloodline versus something war games. So I think we'll give it a few months, perhaps, of this current flow of just Bloodline coming at Roman, no help, but eventually we are going to trickle in and get the Jimmy return, maybe Jay involvement. Maybe Hikuleo isn't with the new Bloodline. Who knows where he falls into the story? But we'll get Heyman back, I'm sure, to some degree. But it's interesting. It's a while. It's far out. There's a lot of shows between now and then. And it does worry me a little bit that it could start to drag based on the time frame. But I do believe they're going to hit this on the head. They have been doing so well with it. I got no reason to believe they won't. I do want to mention it is almost a little refreshing even that there's no like Cody involvement right now. It's like this own separate Bloodline storyline again. Like they got the tag title, sure. I do love that they're seemingly using the Freebird rule here. I think that's great for them. But there's a little bit of separation between a lot of the big things in wrestling right now. Judgment Day is its own thing going on. Bloodline here, Cody here, Gunther here. There's so much. We've been talking about this in our previous videos. So much going on. It's hard to choose what the hottest story is. Right off the back of SmackDown, I want to say Fatu is the greatest thing going right now, and I need to see this Fatu Roman match. I don't know if I want it before Solo versus Roman. I really don't.
Yeah, I still think Solo versus Roman is the more logical match that has to come first. I do have this weird gut feeling. And again, this is pure spitballing, but I've had this gut feeling that there's going to be a big moment in this story. I may have even mentioned it to you off camera, but I'm going to throw it out here. I have this very weird gut feeling that we're going to get Jimmy's return. We're going to get maybe the debut of Talatonga. I have this weird gut feeling that the next really big moment is actually, and this may sound crazy, something in my gut tells me that Heyman is going to turn on Roman and be Solo's wise man. I
You
don't
know
know
that
what it is. Something in my gut tells me that we haven't seen Heyman back yet with Roman. And
Yeah.
when Heyman comes back, he double crosses Roman. And his reason in being Roman, always like he would kind of look at Heyman in a weird way, maybe grab him, maybe question him, but he never really slapped around Heyman for getting out of line. And
Mhm.
Solo showed true leadership and true desire and is a true tribal chief that's as soon as Heyman started disagreeing with him, Solo took him out and woke him up to, you know, something. I don't know what it is. This is pure spitballing, but it's just a gut feeling, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't see Paul Heyman being a face. That might be it.
Mhm.
But something in my gut is telling me the next big moment, not Jimmy's returning, that's going to be a big moment, but one that people won't see. Heyman turns on Roman. I don't know why I have that feeling.
It's not outlandish. It really could happen. I ultimately also don't really know if Heyman being a face is the right move. So maybe having him turn on Roman is the right move. I do also think it makes long term sense for Heyman to maybe do that. This is even maybe years down the line, don't get me wrong, but I think that's a decent stepping stone to getting him away from Roman, maybe paired with Solo in this new bloodline for a while, but at a point that will trickle out, and now Heyman has opportunity again to go be with a Braun Breaker, somebody else, some new fresh talent, considering it seems like Heyman ain't going anywhere anytime soon. This bloodline storyline, yeah, it's been going on for years, and we might get a couple more years out of it, but it can't go on forever. I don't know if that happens, but I can't rule it out. I really can't rule it out. I don't know if I'd like it. I guess I'd have to really see how that would go down. Part of me gets it and thinks it would be crazy, but man, something about Roman and Heyman together, man. They're just so good together. I don't know if I want them separated.
History tells me that
Mm-hmm.
Heyman turns on Roman.
Yeah, yeah.
When he was with Brock and years ago with
Mm-hmm.
Brock, I'm saying Brock's
Yeah,
first
yeah.
run, and Brock was turning face. He turns on Brock and joins the Big Show.
Yeah.
Then we fast forward. He's with Punk. Punk starts turning face, turns on Punk, and goes with heel Brock.
Mhm.
He's with heel Brock. Brock goes away. He's with heel Roman. Brock comes back. Brock is heel. He's still with Brock. Brock starts to turn face. Heyman turns on him and goes with heel Roman.
Mhm.
It is in the nature of Paul Heyman to backstab his guy as soon as they start loving the reaction they get from the crowd and turn face. So I'm just strictly going off history and also going off the fact, as much as I love Heyman and Roman together, and I love hearing
Mhm.
every segment with them, Solo needs Heyman badly.
I do agree with that. Solo does need Heyman badly. And I'll tell you what, we are super involved in this wrestling world, this wrestling community with this new channel. We're all over social media, our own channel, C2 Wrestling. I have not seen the idea of Solo getting Heyman back on his side, Heyman turning on Roman. I have not seen that. And I'll tell you what, if it does, oh, sorry, if it does happen, you heard it here first. C2 Wrestling, baby. That's it.
Yeah, but the important thing that we got to wrap up on is Jacob Fatu being so strong is why I think Solo needs a Paul Heyman on his side, being his advocate, because Jacob Fatu is money in every aspect, and him
Mm.
absolutely dog walking Roman. I don't care if it was a sneak attack. Roman Reigns is the guy, and Jacob Fatu in a walking boot slapped him around.
Took him out. Easy. I would love to see Heyman involved with some sort of tension between Fatu and Solo down the line. However, that new Bloodline stable would come to end as well. Heyman going back to that would be great to see. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm going to leave it at that. I think we just hit all the points we kind of could on what we seen on SmackDown tonight, sorry. And it was a great episode. I'm looking forward to Raw this week. We got a lot of great things coming. Just keep on tuning in. C2 Wrestling. Hit the button below.
If this commitment isn't enough for you to click that subscribe button, click that like button, share it, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Twitter, getting in the comments talking about if Jacob Fatu is the better matchup for Roman than Solo. If this commitment isn't enough, then I don't know what to tell you.
We're here. We're staying here. We're not going anywhere. Again, we got a lot of great things coming. Until next time, C2 Wrestling.
Sharp dressed men. We'll catch you guys next time.